Hey guys, this is Warhawk Beyond 2040 and welcome to another edition of the Wrestling Discussion Series. And the big announcement that's been made from WWE that on November 15th, 2020 on the WWE Network, a brand new documentary featuring Mark Calaway and Glenn Jacobs, known worldwide to WWE fans as The Undertaker and Kane, will be featured in a documentary called The Brothers of Destruction. And you know, this serves as a really nice follow-up to the 5-part Last Ride documentary series, and it's going to be really interesting to hear Undertaker and Kane speak out of character about their 23-year run together as the Brothers of Destruction. And it could be argued that if we didn't have The Undertaker, we wouldn't have had Kane. As simple as that, because as we all know, Kane made his debut on October 5th, 1997 at the Bad Blood pay-per-view during the first ever Hell in a Cell match with The Undertaker and Shawn Michaels. And I never forget when Kane came out with Paul Bearer and he ripped the cell door off, and you could see that look of shock on The Undertaker's face, because that was something you rarely ever saw with The Undertaker's character, especially at that time. So to see this big guy, red and black, wearing a leather red and black mask with long hair, just give The Undertaker a tombstone, was absolutely a shocking moment, and it would help kick off quite possibly one of the most epic rivalries of all time, especially as far as the Attitude Era is concerned. And these guys have had thousands of matches together. Their first time at WrestleMania 14, the Inferno match at Unforgiven, Raws, SmackDowns, Judgment Day, WrestleMania 20, Night of Champions. These guys have faced each other dozens of times. They've done Buried Alive matches, they've done Hell in a Cell matches. You know, these guys have faced each other in every kind of match you could think of. And as great as they were as rivals, they were even more epic when they got together as a team. And The Undertaker and Kane won the tag team titles multiple times. They faced loads of great teams, from the two-man power trip, Triple H and Stone Cold. They faced guys like the APA. You know, you name it, these guys have faced everyone. And these guys were such a big part of my childhood. I'm a big fan of The Undertaker and Kane. I have nothing but respect and love, not just for the characters, but as people as well. You know, they're two of the most respected guys in the company. They're loyal and they're great human beings. There's nothing bad I could actually say about Mark Calaway and Glenn Jacobs as human beings. They're just fantastic guys. And as great as they've been as a tag team, they've had great individual success. You know, Kane's been a former WWE champion, World Heavyweight champion, Hardcore champion, Intercontinental champion. He's won the tag team titles, as I said already, with Undertaker. He's also won it with X-Pac in a very entertaining tag team, The Big Show. You name it, you know, these guys have won gold with everyone. Of course, Kane won with Daniel Bryan, Undertaker's whole tag team title gold with Kane, Big Show, The Rock, you know, Stone Cold Steve Austin, and he's a former 7-time world champion, 21-0 at WrestleMania, and he's been a former hardcore champion as well. You name it, these guys have done it all, so I'm really looking forward to hearing these two just talk to each other out of character. And I believe this is the first time officially on TV, that is, that The Undertaker and Kane have actually been together. I think it's been about 5 years or so since these guys were last together. I know they did a little thing off camera when Undertaker came out on SmackDown to address the Survivor Series team back in 2016, but that wasn't shown on TV. So officially, I would say it's been about over 5 years since these two were last seen together. So I'm really looking forward to seeing what these guys have to say about each other's careers, because as much as Kane helped The Undertaker, I would say that The Undertaker helped Kane even more because he helped get him over, and what can I say, the Big Red Machine character was an instant hit from day one, and I would say a lot of the success comes down to his Undertaker and the late great Paul Bearer, because, you know, as I said at the beginning, if we didn't have the Undertaker, we may not have had Kane. And also, Kane won the tag team titles with Mankind, and Kane's been involved in a Hell in a Cell match with Mankind in a great match that nobody really talks about, or probably nobody even remembers. So these guys have been a huge part of the Attitude Era, the Ruthless Aggression Era, and so forth, and Undertaker and Kane have done their fair share of evolving. You know, Kane went unmasked for quite a few years. Undertaker also, we all know, went down another path. He became the American Badass / Big Evil. So these guys have done their fair share of changing their look a lot over the years, but I probably would say Undertaker has changed his look maybe just a little bit more than Kane, but there's not much in it, so I'm really excited to see what these guys will say to each other. And this is going to be part of a special celebration called the 30 Days of the Dead Man to commemorate 30 years of The Undertaker's legendary career, and I can't think of anyone better to celebrate and commemorate the 30th anniversary of The Undertaker's career than quite possibly his greatest rival, Kane. Now, I know a lot of people will argue that Shawn Michaels was his greatest opponent, Mankind was his greatest opponent, or even Stone Cold Steve Austin. They're all up there, won't deny it, but in terms of iconic stature, Kane's your man. I don't care what anyone says, Kane's your man, because when I think of Undertaker, I think of Kane, and when I think of Kane, I think of The Undertaker. So these guys are so tied together, it's incredible to say the least. So write it down on your calendar, guys. November 15th, 2020, the Brothers of Destruction will be hitting the WWE Network, and I'm really pumped to see it. So with that all said, I'm going to wrap this up now. What's your thoughts on the upcoming Brothers of Destruction documentary? Are you excited? Is there anything you'd like them to address? You know, what's your thoughts on the two of them talking to each other out of character? What about their first time they faced each other at WrestleMania 14? Is that something you'd like to hear them talk about? Or what about their Inferno match from Unforgiven? You know what to do, guys. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, leave your thoughts and comments down below, and I will see all of you next time. So until then, take care everybody, and stay safe, and many congratulations to The Undertaker for a fantastic 30-year career.